Do not give up on your legal status. Many people fail to respond to RFE or file an application before the deadline. This is why we offer a strategy session for 15 minutes at no cost to you. Not everyone qualifies. First, you need to speak with our CARES team. We receive many requests, so we recommend you answer a few questions on our website, greencardguys.com. Our mission is to help people live and work in America legally. Go ahead and subscribe below and follow and share. Talk to you soon. What's happening, y'all? Today is Tuesday, May 7th. How y'all doing? All right. I'm here to answer some questions, so go ahead and drop it in the comment section. Now, please know, I'm not going to be able to answer everyone's questions. I would try my best, but it's usually not possible. So if I'm not able to answer you at all, I'm sorry. Go ahead and DM us or schedule a meeting at the link above. Okay. Now, the other thing is that I want to share with you the topic of the day. Okay. New immigration cases are getting approved quicker than mine. Okay. You might have talked to your friend. You might have talked to someone else, like a classmate, I don't know, a colleague, just someone else in general. And you're like, you knew that they had a case going on. You asked them, hey, like, when did you get your green card? When did you become a citizen? And they're like, oh, it took like 3 months. No big deal. And you're looking down and you're like, oh crap, mine's taken 2 times, 3 times as long. Don't give yourself a hard time, okay? Unfortunately, USCIS or State Department, both of those departments, okay, agencies, sub-agencies for immigration, are not well structured to the extent that this process timing that one person had does not mean that someone else can have the exact same processing time. It just doesn't work that way. That's just not human nature, unfortunately. And unfortunately, even though we are the United States as a world superpower, we sure don't act like one with regard to U.S. immigration, at least. Okay. For one thing, you would think that online filing should be possible for all cases, especially with the court. Like the court is just ridiculous. For cases that are older on the docket, we still have to paper file it, even though they now accept online filing for some the newer cases. So it's just really, really strange. So that's all bureaucracy at the end of the day. It's all because of certain rules. Okay, so if you have a case that's taking longer than your friends, that still could be normal, right? So, you heard me talk about mandamus lawsuit very often, and how, like, if it reaches a certain amount of time, then yeah, maybe you want to consider filing a lawsuit, okay? But not everyone's qualified because your timing might be not meet that minimum timeline on our chart to do that. Um, Hope everyone's doing well. If you're just now joining for the first time, my name is John Ting. I manage a law firm that practices immigration law, help you secure your legal status so you can live and work in America legally, despite what a lot of conservative people think. We're here to help you live and work in America legally. So if that was not obvious to some people, I hope it was. I made it clear now. Okay, so um, yes, but if you're at the point where, like, you're applied for adjustment of status and it's 18 months at least, or you have applied for asylum many years ago and it's been at least 4 years, contact us. Okay, okay, folks. So the best way to do that on TikTok and Instagram, I believe, is going to the link right here. All right, and we click that link and go to show profile picture. There's a link right below under the profile picture, and you can walk you through those steps. Okay, we do have a reservation fee. Okay, it's this amount. All right, it's less than a cup of coffee, especially Starbucks. If you've seen some videos about Starbucks on TikTok, there's some unhappy customers, and so I think I can safely guarantee that our reservation fee is less than a cup of coffee from Starbucks. It's quite crazy to say that. But all right, let me answer some questions here. Thanks for joining. Welcome to the show. If you know anyone has an immigration question or stuck, share the channel. We greatly appreciate it. Hey, what's up, Lawrence? Good to see you. And Trina Trang Fan. Hi, Trina. I saw your comment the other day. You want to file for marriage. You're not sure how to begin with. Can you do the filing yourself? A lot of some people can do it. All right. Some people cannot. First of all, many people think, I think I just posted a video similar to your question. Many people think it's just paperwork. If it was just paperwork, then a lot of people would be approved seamlessly. Unfortunately, that's not the case. So, although it may appear to be that way, one of the several reasons to hire an attorney, or at least consider it, okay, it'll be our pleasure to assist anyone who's watching the live show right now, is to, number one, legal strategy. Sometimes some people think like, oh, I'm married to a US citizen. Can I just do AOS? But in the background, the facts is like maybe that person entered America without a visa, sin papeles. So maybe someone entered a visa but then left America outside the United States. And even it was to Mexico or Canada for 1 hour, was for 30 minutes. It doesn't matter how long. Okay. What matters timing wise is how much time was spent in America, because that counts as unlawful presence. So again, that's part of the legal analysis. Okay. Um, in fact, and it even does not matter your profession, your education level, or income level. We've helped business owners, entrepreneurs, and they tried to file themselves, and yeah, they got denied. Hate to say. You would think that, I don't know, just maybe assumption of society is like, oh, if someone has like X number of dollars, wealth, income, education, like, oh, it should be like easy for them, right? No. In fact, they understand the value of a professional. So we got it done for her, for them, for I say her, but it's really there's multiple scenarios where we had to help. At the end of the day, it's peace of mind. Okay, Trina, hopefully that helps. Let's see here. I don't know why. It's like auto filtering or hiding some comments. So if you commented on TikTok and you don't see your comment anymore, that's not me. That is TikTok doing it automatically, and I'm not sure why they're doing that, because it's a regular question. It's not nothing wrong with that. So let me see if I can let me approve the comment. There we go. Okay. All right. So one question from TikTok here that I was able to approve. How long can respond an inquiry? I think you mean how long does it take USCIS to respond to inquiry? When they send an email out, first of all, the email takes, I think, it could be either within an hour or within 24 hours. So when you do finally receive the inquiry, okay, it will tell you either the USCIS needs 30 days or they expect a response in 60 days. And then you're like waiting. Okay, you're counting it down. You're waiting. Sure, put on your Google Calendar or whichever calendar you use, but don't actually expect a response in that time frame. That would be wonderful. I mean, that's what I would expect, but literally don't make that bad assumption. Okay, but be ready. In fact, what the game plan is next, the action plan, to submit another inquiry or actually call in. You have to spend some time on the phone, but at the end of the day, don't get all frustrated. Just listen to John, and if I'm right, come back and follow. Okay, if you don't want to follow now, that's fine. But I recommend following, because we share real time information here that literally you would think that you submit inquiry and they tell you, hey, I'm going to get back to you in 30 days. But maybe they actually do get back to you in 30 days. But it's bullshit. It's a bunch of crap. They just say, oh, your case is still processing. It's still within processing time. And you're thinking, that's not exactly what I was expecting. You're expecting something like more, in the legal terms, we use substantive, like more movement, like information that actually is like, hey, you're 75% of the way through to the next step or the final step. No, they don't do anything like that. That'd be great. I know Domino's does something like that. All right, let me get to a comment on TikTok here. Empire asks if someone has two H-1B transfers with company A and B. And then a follow-up comment. Start working with company B on their C notice, but don't like it, can they go and work with for company A, which transfer is already approved? Oh, it's already approved, Empire, then yikes. You gotta refile another change of employer. I mean, that's great if company A will take you back. Hopefully left on good terms, but yeah, man, that's a stinker. But fortunately, legally, you can should be able to file a change of employer again. Um, yeah, you might not want to tell company B that while you're considering that. But just personal advice, you might want to think about why you left company A in the first place. So that's a rhetorical question you might want to think about. All right, let's see here. Let me scroll down. TikTok does this thing where there's a lot of comments and questions. Thank you so much. Thanks for your trust. But it pushes it down, so I have to take some time to scroll. Okay, Miguel Castro on TikTok asks, "You're waiting since 2021 for what? 485? Is that what you're waiting for?" Medical has been received since June 2023. No update yet. Oh, the medical exam. Miguel, Miguel, it's time to file a lawsuit. Okay. You gave them almost a year after you provided the medical exam, and they may have misplaced your file. Okay, I'm very unfortunate. I think that that's the thing, folks. A lot of people ask, like, "Oh, how long is a trend?" The trend seems to be the same as 2023. Fortunately, for marriage-based cases, for adjustment status, meaning the immigrant foreign national is living in the United States and eligible for adjustment status. Generally, it's 3 to 5 months. Still, fortunately. But if you're in a situation similar to Miguel and you didn't provide medical exam results in a sealed envelope with the whole package before, but you have now because they sent you RFE, yes, the USCIS intent is to waive your interview and approve it because they sent you RFE for that. Typically, they wouldn't have done that. If they were intending to provide you an interview, issue you an interview notice, then they would have just sent you a courtesy notice to say, "Hey, bring the medical exam to the interview." But clearly, USCIS has dropped the ball on many people. Okay, you've been joining live. You're Miguel. You're not the only person to share this information with me, but there's a lot of people who have already provided medical exams 6 months, a year ago, and still haven't received any update. If you have and you commented before, please let us know how long it actually took, the number of months after you mailed it in. Okay, but it's almost, I'll say, I guess 10 to 11 months for you, Miguel. You may want to consider a lawsuit now. But overall, really, if you think about it, though, let me take a step back here. But if you said your RFE was like last June, I believe, but if you filed it like in May 2023, then that is still too early for a lawsuit. And overall, 18 months for AOS after filing date in general. Okay, that's the rule of thumb on AOS. Okay. Khan, I don't know the answer to that question. I don't know if you're asking that, but I don't know why I get that question about religious portability. I'm not quite too familiar with that one specifically, but you have to schedule a meeting with our team and we can research it beforehand just in case. Okay, I-130 to the TikTok user that has the emoji with the hands. You got I-130. How long is the wait time after the 6 steps? Um, what 6 steps are you referring to? Talking about my 6 steps? We do intentionally list out the steps, but even I can't keep track of how many steps because we have so many cases, so many different types of cases. Um, after the 6 steps, so I need a little bit more specific on that. Phase, thanks for the roses, really appreciate it. But if you file only the I-130 and not the 485, it really depends who you're related to, who filed for you, your sponsor. because is it family preference or is it a U.S. citizen sponsored you? It makes a huge, huge difference. Or if it's immediate relative is what I'm trying to say. Immediate relative or a family preference case, because that makes a huge difference on timing. Folks, I will try my best to get to you. I'm going to three different platforms, so I do not intend to skip anyone. Okay. Let's see here. Let's see here. Thank you so much for your questions. Okay, Nancy. Will you get a 2-year or 10-year card? You've been together for 17 years. When you say been together for 17 years, have you been married 1 year? Okay. So unfortunately, I mean, fortunately, it's not for sure yet for you. Okay, but generally, by the time you actually receive approval notice, at the time of the marriage date until approval notice is when they would determine if you're going to get the residency of 2 years, conditional resident status, or the 10-year permanent resident status. Okay. And so you wouldn't know that until then. So the sooner, even if you file now, Nancy, you said you've been married for a year, but by the time you get approved, I mean, yeah, it'd be great to get approved sooner. But look, if you wait another year to file, I mean, I wouldn't wait that long because you might have a different president by then. We may have a different president by then. But so I wouldn't wait that long. Okay. But I would go ahead and file now. Um, yeah, I just want to risk it with the possibly a new president. So I would do it now as soon as possible. And plus, your case might take a year anyway. But congrats, 17 years and you got three kids with each other. But if anyone else has a similar situation like this, you've been together for a long time, and you're thinking about getting married, tying a knot officially. Your family's like, come on, get it together, get married. Some states, some counties allow you to do like a common law marriage certificate. So it's almost like basically backdating your marriage date. So check into that. I don't think all states do that, but something to consider. And that way, by the time you file for you with USCIS, it could definitely probably be more than 2 years. So guarantee the permanent resident card instead of the conditional residence card. And so if anyone's wondering why that may make a difference for you or not, like what does it matter? If you are able to get the 10-year resident card, permanent resident card, then you don't have to file a second application that's called or subsequent application that's called remove conditions. Okay, that's a 751. You only have to do that if you're a conditional resident. All right. Oh, by the way, I want to share some good news. So we help people become a U from residence, non-immigrant visa, residency, which means green card, and then become a U.S. citizen. Just yesterday, I went to USCIS field office in Houston, and we got not just one client, but two clients approved. Actually, husband and wife. It was a wonderful feeling, wonderful situation for them. So now they're going to be able to do so many things. They want to be able to leave the United States and just travel anytime they want and come back anytime they want. Okay. They don't have to be worried about, oh, we got, we got 1 month left to be outside US. We need to come back sooner. But meanwhile, they're enjoying their time outside the United States. Right. Or, and now they can vote in the US election, local, state, or federal election. Okay. As a US citizen. All right. So great news there. All right, Sonia. You gave birth in the States in 2013 on a tourist visa with fiance assistance, or not fiancés. Oh, that's funny. Financial assistance. And now you're a 10 years green card holder. You're due for citizenship. Does this affect your naturalization? Um, I don't know specifically. I would need to know more about the financial assistance. That's more of something you need to schedule for a consultation. Um, well, I can say for citizenship application, I don't recall any question actually asking about financial assistance. So that's a good thing. If they're going to ask about when they ask about public charge, so I do know something about public charge. They relate that to the if anything, they would be concerned about that at the 485 stage or for residency, but not for naturalization. Okay, so check that out. You're now a 10 years green card holder. That's great, but how long have you been a resident? Okay, Sonia. So that would determine when you can apply. Hopefully that helps. Bruno, thanks for asking. When is the first day to apply if you win the DV lottery 2025? Great question. There's a lot of resources. I just don't have it offhand. If you win, that's a lot of speculation. So let's probably wait until you win the lottery, then you can consider that. But the U.S. government has a lot of websites related to that. But I realize it's probably difficult for you, some of y'all, to find some of those websites. So we'll probably share that on our own website. So that's like one place. Okay, Bruno. So if you want, you can message our team and you can share your information, email, and we'll share those links for you. Okay. Okay, Jahon D, I believe. Your wife filed the I-130 August 2023. She's a U.S. citizen from Jamaica. What time frame? August 2032 to getting a visa appointment in Jamaica. Okay, so well, first is the I-130 approved because you mentioned filed, but maybe you meant approved. If it hasn't been approved yet, then there's no discussion about the visa appointment. I-130 has to be approved. That's step number one. Step number two is uploading some financial documents and other things into the ceac.state.gov portal. And hypothetically, step number three is the waiting for the visa appointment. They don't allow people to self-schedule it. Okay, unfortunately, that would be nice. Alrighty. Hope you all doing well today. If you're just now joining, welcome. My name is John Ting. I practice and manage a legal team, immigration law firm. We help secure your legal status so you can live and work in America legally. How about that? Okay. Let me approve this comment. I don't know why they're like auto hiding some comments here on TikTok. How long after you get married can you apply for citizenship? Okay, this is Blanc on TikTok. So after you get married and you have maintained that marriage with that same person who helped you and sponsored you for residency, then that's a 3-year rule. Okay, and then you can file 3 months before those 3 years. Okay, 3 months within 3 months before those 3 years expire. So for us, what we do for our clients is we put on the calendar, like it's a company event, okay, or a family event. You got to put it on the calendar so you don't forget. Because some people are residents for 20, 10, 20, 30 years and they're like, okay, John, it's time for me to become a citizen. And I'm like, bro, you could have done this like a long time ago. Why are you waiting so long? But in all seriousness, here's why you should consider doing this earlier than later. Okay. Of course, assuming you're eligible, legally eligible, is because wrong place, wrong time. You could have a criminal charge against you, and maybe you were with the wrong buddies. Maybe you went out drinking, got a DWI. You just don't want any. You want to become a citizen before you have a crime. I mean, some people don't predict they're going to get caught. Some people don't predict that they're going to get in trouble or do anything wrong. Okay. But let's just say you got a clean record. You're not around those kind of folks. Okay. Clean record. And, um, but you just stay outside the United States for more than 6 months. It doesn't have to be consecutive months, but in one calendar year, you're outside for more than 6 months. And then you can return to United States at the airport. And you're like, you hand them the passport, you're like, thinking, no big deal. I'm gonna come right in, gonna be able to have a dinner with family. And they're like, sorry, buddy, spent too much time out there. You fail to maintain status. I mean, that'd be a real jerk of a customs officer. You need to provide some proof, but that could happen. So it's just better to become a US citizen. Don't wait on it. Okay. Faze, thanks so much for roses. Trying to find your question too so I can answer it. Thanks so much for your trust to ask a question. I will try to get through it as quickly as I can. Let's see. Um, okay, let me get to phase because shout out for all those roses there. Your mom's a citizen and you're over 21 and in the US you entered legally. Wonderful. Can she file for you to get you AP and EAD? No, unfortunately. Okay. If you were under 21 and your parent is a citizen, then that would be immediate relative. I know you're in the nucleus, family nucleus. Yes. But in terms of immigration law, this is family preference. Okay. Okay. So I believe this is F1 actually. Let me take a quick look. Um, Let me pull it up. You're on TikTok, so I can't share my screen there, but the May 2024 bulletin. So if phase, if you're not married, then that'd be F1 category. But if you are married, then that's the F3. Okay, with a parent sponsoring you, U.S. citizen parent. Okay, so it's preferred if you're F1 if you're not married. Um, and then I don't know why, but sometimes by the way y'all phrase questions, I just have an inkling of an idea if you're in the United States or not. So phase, if you're in the United States or anyone else in a similar position and you want to get sponsored by a family member, it creates a family preference relationship, and you're in the United States and maybe you overstay your visa or you're entered illegally, you need to make sure that you have a qualifying relative for a waiver, 601A. So if you have a parent filing for you and there's a family preference, then a parent with a resident or a US citizen counts as a qualifying relative. A spouse counts as a qualifying relative for a waiver. Okay. But unfortunately, if like your sibling filed for you, unfortunately, a sibling does not count as a qualifying relative for the case. So hopefully that helps. Sonia on YouTube, you contacted us before about you and your son I-130 filing from 2021. When did you contact us? Recently? Contact us again if you don't mind. You mentioned you found out there's a mistake on your form. And what if there's a mistake in your petition you sent it to the USCIS office already? Okay, so we can update it depending on what the mistake is. It might be one of those like innocent mistakes and might not be a concern that would affect the ability to get that decision on the petition. But if it is something that we believe that could affect it, then we would recommend providing an updated petition with the receipt notice you already have, because if you don't provide a new receipt notice and you didn't provide it with money, USCIS mailroom is just going to automatically reject it. So then you just wasted your mail fee, USPS fee, or FedEx, right? So you got to provide proof of the receipt notice, of course. So with our team in situations like this or any other case, we always provide a letter on top of the case file explaining the situation. Okay. Hopefully that helps. Sana, that's the only in general. I mean, your concern, you might be able to do it yourself, but ultimately, it might be better for our team like ours to take over for the rest of the way, because, of course, the petition is only step number one. Thank you for contacting us. We really appreciate that. Which, by the way, if y'all have experience with a team and um, you've talked to our team before and had a meeting with one of our team members, or you're a client right now and you're just joining live because you just love us so much, please go to reviewteamlaw.com. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Okay, but if you don't mind mentioning our team member's name, because they do get bonuses at the end of every month. Thank you. Okay, let me go and answer some more questions here. Welcome to the show. If you're just now joining, my name is John Ting. I manage a immigration law firm. Here in Houston, Texas, we have a physical office, believe it or not. Some people on TikTok or YouTube don't, but we got a physical office. We're here if you want to meet us in person. Alrighty. All right, so we got It Girl on TikTok. So if the I-130 still is pending from 2020 and is not approved, do I think something's wrong? Yeah, I think something's wrong with USCIS. Maybe not something necessarily wrong with your case. Um, just because a case is pending for longer than the processing times or longer than your friends or your homies does not mean there's something wrong with your case. If you got an RFE, request for evidence, or and especially notice of intent to deny, then that's where you could tell yourself, well, if it's RFE, you just didn't provide enough evidence. But if it's NOID, most of the time it's something wrong with your case file. Like you definitely did not provide enough information. Okay. I've got a different voice today. Maybe I'm just answering a lot more questions than normal. Um, Gian Paulo, am I a member of AILA? Absolutely, I am. It's a great organization that helps attorneys, immigration attorneys, with a lot of resources. But not every immigration attorney likes AILA. So, if you're considering an attorney, them being part of AILA, I think is helpful. I mean, I could be biased, but I'm trying to be as real as possible. If you're looking for an attorney and they're not a part of this organization, I do think it can affect their ability to provide you resources, real time information, but it's not required. It's not required to join AILA. So to each their own. Let's see here. Oh, I didn't see your other question. John Paulo. I try to go every day, Monday through Friday, but I wasn't able. I had it scheduled on YouTube at least and Facebook for yesterday, but I just couldn't. I couldn't do it yesterday. So I do apologize, especially the folks where it is scheduled. I do apologize if you do see it scheduled for that day, but I don't join. It's usually because last minute meeting, business meeting, or meeting with a client. Like we're all about access to attorneys, right? So we're different than many other law firms. So intentionally, we want to provide access to attorneys. So that's why, or even like yesterday, I was at the interview and I forgot to tell one of my marketing team members to take off the scheduled session. Absolutely, happy to help. Well, welcome to ask questions later on. Um, let's see here. Okay, so let me ask another answer of another question here. Okay, let me scroll down. TikTok does this crazy thing. It scrolls it all the way down. So sorry if I missed yours. Uh, Jay on TikTok. Hi there. Can you buy a truck as an owner operator driving a truck E2 visa? Yes, we've had clients like that. We can do it. Okay, so let's chat. DM us. By the way, folks, on your respective platform, depending here on TikTok and Instagram, you can click above, and on my profile picture, there's a link right underneath it, and you can just answer a couple questions there. It's going to redirect you to a payment page of this amount, reservation fee. Uh, we just had a couple bad apples, that didn't show up to the meeting, which doesn't make sense to me. If they want their legal status, of course. So um, we do, and then after that, we do redirect. You do get redirected to the calendar to self-schedule a meeting. Okay, so we just want to be intentional because there are most law firms. If I had to put a percentage, 99.9% of law firms, they may have a little form on their website. Um, and then after you fill out the form, have you ever filled out a form online? Not just a law firm. You fill out a form online. You're like, what's going to happen next? Well, when you see our form, we're very intentional. We explain all the steps. Okay, you're going to get an automated email after you submit that form as well. because we also in that email will tell you which cases that we don't accept because we feel bad if you have a specific case that we don't accept and you're just waiting for the meeting, right? So we want to let you know as soon as possible, and especially if you have a deadline next time. Okay, AD, good afternoon. How long normally does it take USCIS to answer an RFE? Also, normally time to get a work permit AOS family based married to U.S. citizen. Um, so medical, yeah, I think I answered, was it Miguel's question or someone else? They provided medical exam. I think he said that was back in June 2023. It's now May 2024. So it's almost a year. And so it just depends on your timing. It really depends on, the intent again is supposed to be that they're going to waive your interview. If they sent you RFE for medical exam, the intent is to waive the interview, because traditionally, in the old days, if they're going to send any document, it would be a courtesy request to bring it to the interview. Okay. But look, if they sent you a medical RFE, you provide them medical, and it's been more than 6 months, that's not good, right? It's not your fault. It's just that USCIS is so inefficient. Their workflow, your case file might have gotten lost, misplaced, unfortunately, because you and I are thinking the same thing. Why the hell would it take, if the intent is to waive the interview, why would it take so long? Would it take more than 6 months? I don't know. And it's because they're inefficient. It just has to be some ridiculous reason like that. Now, your second question is about normally how much time I get the work permit on AOS. 3 to 6 months on average. That seems to be the range, or maybe not average, but the range of time. No rhyme or reason. One case application could be 3 months, the other one could be 6 months. There's no rhyme or reason. AO, good day, attorney. Can a person who's 751 been pending for 2 years move? Can that person move to another state? Is it going to delay the case more or not? 751 does not always result in interview. Typically, so that'd be the only reason I'd be concerned about moving, a client moving, is if it's a case that requires an interview. So, which is fine if that person wants to fly back, then that's fine. You may want to consider that. But 751, it's not going to get decided in anytime soon for you. Okay, AO, 2 years. I mean, think about it, because the automatic receipt notice provides you automatic extension for 48 months. That's 4 years. That's good news and bad news, right? The good news is that you don't have to, that is your proof, right? But if you want to travel, then you can quickly go to the, not quickly, you got to call in still, the 1-800-375-5283. Yes, I memorized it all these years of calling them. I wish it was faster. But anyway, to get the passport stamp, I mean, the stamp that you're a resident, I-551 stamp on your passport to show for travel purposes and returning. Okay, but otherwise, there's a reason why they put 4 years. They used to not provide any automatic extension, but USCIS realizes they're so freaking slow, like a turtle. So AO, to answer your question directly, I would not be concerned about moving. You can move, but update USCIS. And if you have an attorney, folks, update your attorney. Consider your attorney in USCIS like your best friend. Okay, not like your brother or sister, because you probably tell your best friend before you tell your sister or sibling for some reason. Okay, but treat your attorney in this sense in USCIS as your best friend, that they need to know your new address. Okay, because if for some reason 1 month later or 2 months later your attorney gets the interview notice, or maybe you didn't have an attorney, but you didn't update USCIS, you may not receive that interview notice because you didn't update that. So the other tip here on moving: submit a forwarding address with USPS. For the love of God, please do it. And I think it costs like $1 online. Let's see here. Thank you so much for your questions. Briggy Brown Eyes, you got to the US 4 weeks ago. And it says, congratulations. It says card is being produced. Update today. Oh, how long before a green card reaches the mail? That's tough to say. Usually, our clients, when it's process case, it arrives in about 1 to 2 months. Okay, but it's hard to say. Like right when it says card being produced, maybe a week, maybe a week. Okay, let us know. Okay, Bricky Brown Eyes, congrats on your status. Jahon D on YouTube. Is the time on the I-130 page? I think you mean the estimated processing time, telling you the time to make the decision that they're going to make the decision. The case, are they accurate? Fairly accurate. If anything, I would consider the meet it to more of the higher range of how long it takes. Because again, like we on most applications, we receive the decision sooner than what it says online on USCIS.gov. Okay, so but there are still actually a lot of people that their case is delayed longer than what it shows online. Okay, so but it's not everyone. So hopefully, how long have you been waiting? Did you say earlier? Okay, your second comment I think said, oh yeah, you said you filed in August 2023, and your second comment says it's dating 1 week for decision. That'd be great if it's true, but it's not. 99.9%. It's not true. It is not true if it says that. Now, if you're talking about the USCIS processing time on the estimated and not your my USCIS account, that's what I was talking about earlier. But you said 1 week. Now that I found your second comment, that's the my USCIS account, and that is not accurate at all. Okay. Okay. User 3583 on TikTok. Um, you have I-130 in at NVC. You need an 864, more 864, but you haven't submitted yet for 2 years. What do you mean not submitted it for 2 years? Tax returns? What's not for 2 years? Oh shoot! Now that I asked you, that's the thing, folks. So I ask a follow-up questions sometimes, but I might not be able to see your follow-up answer, and that's the difficult part, especially on TikTok. Um, but so if I don't answer, if I'm not able to see your second or third comment, especially on TikTok, it might be in your best interest if you appreciate the way I share information, my team. Go ahead and go, and you're interested in services, go to the follow the button there. I guess I think that's what it is. Profile page. There's a link right underneath my picture, and you can answer a few questions. They're very specific to help you. You pay this reservation fee, okay, this amount, less than a cup of coffee, and then the next page is going to be the calendar that you can self-schedule. What other law firm does that? Please tell me in the comments. What other law firm allows you to do all that? And that all those steps right there probably saved you at least an hour of your time. 1 hour. Okay. Um, yeah, I'll keep it at that. I'm not going to speak poorly about other people, other law firms right now. I'll save that for another day. So Salazar asks on TikTok, can employers still STILL employees? I don't know what you mean by that. Do you mean sponsor employees? Yes. Kyra on TikTok. What happens after I-130 is approved and the case is closed? What? What do you mean case is closed? Maybe you just meant approved. What are the steps for your husband both in the U.S.? You're both in the U.S. Okay. Sounds like you definitely need to talk to us. Okay, because your husband's in the U.S. We need to figure out if your husband entered with a visa. Okay, because if he didn't, then you need to apply for a waiver. If he did enter with a visa, he never left after that, then you can apply for 45. Okay, so let's allow us opportunity to verify that with you. If you can schedule a meeting right up there. Okay. Thanks, Evans. Thanks so much. VG, I don't know why I can't pin comments on TikTok anymore right now. Can I? Let's see if it works. VG asks, I-140 approved, PD current. Prior date current, can you leave the US for a few years later and later get GC from consulate safely? Um, yeah, it doesn't have to be the 40 through the 485. You can do it. The thing is, though, your petition I-140, I'm pretty sure it has a question that says, are you going to adjust status in the United States or consular process? So it's hard to predict the future. Like if you're thinking to leave the United States, and your VG right there on TikTok, it's possible, right? No one says you have to stay, but if you want to move the case file, depends what your petition says. If it says if it has marked like constant processing, which I doubt in your situation because it sounds like you're here with legal status, then but if it does say constant processing, if you somehow pick the specific consulate or embassy that you were going to go to, I guess, then you don't need to do anything else in terms of that. But if your I-130 or I-140, I'm mentioning for other people, if you have it check mark, you put in like Dallas, Texas, or something for adjustment of status location on your petition, either I-130, I-140, but then you're living outside the United States for whatever reason or no reason at all, then you have to be cognizant that you have to move the case file to that consulate or embassy. Because if you don't, then you're not going to get an email from NVC with a new case number and invoice number. Okay. USCIS is not going to read your minds. Okay. You have to tell them. And unfortunately, that costs money to change the location of the case file from US to outside the US. Hey, Alex Kelly on 8 on YouTube. You're U.S. citizen, European citizen, got married in the U.S. And right after that, you moved to Europe, living there in EU for 5 years. Congrats! I wonder what that's like. I'd love to know your experience. You think about relocating to the U.S. You just realized. Let's see what's going on. That you could apply for the IR from here. Yes, you can. And that's step number one is the petition. But can the U.S. citizen be sponsored with the EU spouse, financial resource? So have you been, just rhetorical question, you don't have to respond to this on the chat there, but Alex Kelly, um, the default answer is have you been filing your tax return? Okay. If you haven't, then, you need to show proof of assets. Okay. Um, If you have been earning income but you have not filed your taxes, then that is a problem, and you need to get that done as soon as possible. All right. But some people, you've been living outside for 5 years, so you're probably very familiar with all those scenarios. But some people live out for like a year and don't take the time to research all that and might not know to file specific tax returns. Okay, there's a co-sponsor. So your joint sponsor or co-sponsor has to be a U.S. resident, permanent resident, or a U.S. citizen. That's right. And I do, since you're on YouTube, uh, I, I'm assuming your name's Alex, since ALX, but or Alexandra. But what was I gonna say? Oh, on YouTube, I have a video about A64 affidavit support. So hopefully that gives you some context. Okay, let's see here. Mohammed Ahmed. N400 denied, N336 filed, and you got the N400 reopened just to have the intent to deny again. Do you file N336 again or court? Depends on your situation, right? I need to know why you were denied the first time, the second time, and how you got them to um, like, what is the situation? Did you resolve in your second filing? Did you resolve the first one? Maybe they came up with a second issue. Probably not. Probably same issue. So, like, I need to know how was it at the N336 interview or all the interviews? Were you able to explain it clearly? Maybe you had an attorney. I don't know. I need to so that Mohammed, happy to help. Our team's happy to help. Okay, for anyone's situation that's similar to Mohammed on TikTok or any you have an RFE, maybe you filed it again a second, third time, and you still got denied, or you got RFE again or annoyed. You just keep trying and trying. it's gotta click in your head at some point that you might need to authorize a professional. Okay. Now, of course, I can't assume you did not have a lawyer or not. But if you did have an attorney, maybe that attorney just didn't give you proper advice. Like, look, we don't offer a quote for people who we think is going to get denied. Okay. If we think you're getting denied, we're not going to offer you, okay, a quote. We're not going to, we just, so it just doesn't make sense. Right. So hopefully that helps give you context about how we operate internally. If we think you're eligible, if we believe, not just think, we're not making it up. If we believe based on information you shared that you're eligible for legal immigration benefit, we're going to offer you a quote. Otherwise, we don't. Someone on TikTok asked, humanitarian reinstatement approved. The petitioner died. I'm so sorry to hear that. Administrative processing for 5 months at NVC. So I know in general you can get a substitute sponsor when the original petitioner passed away, but I'm not as familiar with respect in this situation for humanitarian reinstatement. I'm so sorry. I wish I did. Okay. On TikTok, Ike Asia, you want to answer? Maybe I missed your first comment. She stays in US. What type of visa should you need to apply after married here in I don't know what your second comment is. Was it meant to be Nigeria? Because I see NIGE. Um, so if she stays in the US, so not in Nigeria. So you're both in the US, then it's what we call the adjustment of status application. Assuming she entered the US with a visa already and did not leave after that. Okay, then that's called, I mean, just generally speaking, we call it marriage visa, but the acronym is IR, immediate relative. Okay, so hopefully that helps. Petition is the first step, at least. There's many more things we could share, but I'm just trying to answer questions quickly here. Thank you so much for the questions. I see the question, like, man, I want to answer that, but I want to try to go in order too, as well. I mean, Sweet MP4. What are your options if you're working on non-STEM OPT right now and expires in January 2025? So you got what, 6 months at least? You're on F1. What I would share with you, I mean, there's several options. I mean, the one that I don't like, but it's a necessary evil, is H1B. And I don't like it because it's a lottery registration and it's completely random. But the other ones depend on your background, your work background, essentially your CV. Um, thanks, Alex, or probably saying ALX. Appreciate it. Please subscribe and follow for more. Let's see here. So the real deal is if you're a college student, you really need to take the time to network. I know a lot of, not trying to take anything away from U.S. citizens, but I remember when I was in school and I was involved helping out with the international student department, sometimes um, I just got the sense. And it's not like I looked at their transcript or anything, but I just got the sense it really had really high strong work ethic or study habits. Okay, and so your face is like glued to the book, hypothetically. The thing is, you need to spend some time networking. Okay, you need to meet other people in with the respect that because connections matter, right? That's how some people get jobs, because especially to compare it from one resume to another and it looks similar, it's very difficult for HR or someone to pick someone if they're similar. So more likely in that situation, they're probably just going to pick the one that they're have a connection with. Okay. So hopefully that gives you a little help. So with that being said, why does that even matter, John? You're probably talking about like what are my legal options? So to boost your resume, okay, your work experience, you need to that would help determine which visa option. Okay. And so that's why, unfortunately, H-1B is one of those that don't require any work experience. You can literally go straight out of college and apply for H-1B, register, I mean, in March, only one time a year. It's ridiculous. They should, I really think they should have at least twice a year, like minimum, because some people graduate at different times. Anyway, um, Paya Patel, what would I recommend for F1 student in US with approved EB5 petition, AOS or consular? Um, you are an F1 student within the US already, currently, with an approved petition. AOS, if you can. Hopefully, it's not too late to update them. Congrats on that, Paya Patel. I'm sure that took you a long time. I'm really interested how long that took you. Yeah, Janelle York. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing anyone's name. Okay, so you got a pending charge, ongoing case for of 9 years. Oh, if, very keyword, if you have a pending charge, um, an ongoing case of 9 years for grievous bodily harm but not convicted, would you be inadmissible for U.S. visitor's visa? Uh, yeah, they might. They might. I don't. I would think they look at criminal records, but I don't recall. We don't intentionally offer services on visitor visa, but I don't believe if they check your biometrics, and that's automatic. They check that. Okay. Um, but yeah, that's gonna be a tough one. You're okay. Perfect. Thank you. I'll have to check. Okay. But contact my team or you can text my team. Oh shoot, where's my banner here? It's missing. So y'all have been able to see the number. There we go. So number right up here on YouTube and Facebook. So if you text that, text your name and email if you don't mind, and maybe type in like visitor visa webinar. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm speaking specifically to Janelle York or anyone else that has a specific topic they want to know about. We are going to have a webinar series that's going to be specific one topic because I know this on this live show. I'm still going to do the live shows. Don't worry. Okay, but it's kind of all over the place. A lot of different types of questions, right? Different case types. Whereas the webinar is intended to be a very specific topic. So if you want to know about a specific topic, DM us, text us, your name, email. Don't worry, I'm gonna find a way to have it more like a link. Okay, but for now, if you want to do it that way, and so we can provide the information. Okay. Paya Patel, 5 years. Okay, yeah, man, that's quite a long time. Of course, visa bulletin. It's ridiculous. But yeah, you may want to consider because since you are in the U.S. now, and in the US, they rely on Chart B. Chart B. B as in boy. B as in boy band. I don't have a favorite boy band. My wife likes the Korean boy bands. What is a popular one right now? I can't even. I don't follow them, so I don't know. I don't know. But because Chart A for Alpha, Apple, that is for people who are consular processing. Okay. So two different scenarios. So thank you for asking. Okay, let's see here. Pretty finale on TikTok. What happens if someone here legally for 15 years and you need citizenship? So it sounds like two different people need help without getting. I didn't see your follow comment here. Oh, now I see Janelle's comment on TikTok. Good move, folks. Good move. If you, it is actually easier for me to see comments and questions on YouTube and Facebook than TikTok. It's just even though I have it like slid to the left, right, and I can see it larger, it's hard to see the whole thing. I think you can type more on YouTube at least or Facebook. So good move there. Because like with Pretty Finale, I had follow up questions, but I can't see your follow up answer. Um, but yeah, if you're interested in switching over to the YouTube channel, you can go to greencardguys.tv. Okay, Lindy. We'll go to Lindy next. This feels like a talk show. All right, N600 was denied because of age, but it was done before age 16. Can you appeal? Well, what was done before age 16? Your citizenship? Oh, TikTok thinks I'm not live anymore. Oh, shoot. Did I get it? Okay, verification complete. Um, we would it would best for us to look at your denial letter. So, folks, anytime if you have been denied, I'm sorry to hear that. But and if you're interested in our services and you go to that link, make sure to upload a copy of that document. If you're not able to because you did it on the phone, answering the form, that's okay. We'll email you another link or send you a link that you can upload it to. Okay, no worries. But no, reading, understanding the reason they denied you specifically. I mean, you said age 16, but I need to know more information. But if you're intending to appeal, you got to do it really soon, within 30 days of that decision. All right, let me go to Instagram here. Anthony on Instagram. Good day, John, or good day, Anthony. What if I made? What if you made a mistake on the form? Oh, buddy, and send USCIS an email about the mistake. Can you get a reply from them that they've updated your file? Is that okay? I mean, is it okay? I mean, I wish that was okay. I wish that was helpful, but what email do you have of USCIS? Can you tell me that email? I would love to know that email. Let me know. That'd be faster. So I see there's actually a couple of people here that have mentioned you made a mistake on the form. That's what I'm telling y'all, folks. I'm not trying to say we're perfect, but we have several team members, three sets of pair of eyes that review your file and your eyes to review your application to make sure everything is correct. So hopefully it's not detrimental to your situation, but for some people, not maybe not detrimental to getting legal status, but like someone asked earlier about switching it from AOS, adjustment of status, or consular processing abroad. That is a consequence in terms of time and money because filing 824 processing for that, I believe that's the form number 824 to move from one location to another abroad to the US or vice versa, that costs money and time because processing time for that form is at least 12 months from last time I saw. Okay, so but Anthony, hopefully I answered your question directly. I'm not familiar with any email that you could just let them know like that. Okay. But I think if I recall your prior comments, maybe have a my USCIS account, maybe just upload it that way and just mention somewhere it's like an updated one and let them know what exactly you changed. All right, folks. Hope you're doing well. I'm just going to answer about two more questions. Okay. And then got to hop to a meeting. So your I-130 now says 8 months that the process is taking longer than expected. And yeah, I think your comment below said your husband's in Germany. That's it. Yeah. Oh, you're in Germany. Your husband's in U.S. Okay. Yeah, 8 months. I would expect it at least 12 months. I don't know why. I think it should not matter a difference when a U.S. citizen is in America or not. Or I mean, if the immigrant, foreign national, is in America or not, why not just be the same? But here's the thing. I believe they're doing something tricky inside the system. And they know that there's over Over 400,000 people still waiting for the interview abroad. And if they process that petition too quickly for people who are outside the United States, then that's going to further create the backlog. So they rather create a different backlog at the very beginning. Step number one is a petition. So you have to understand that context. Like, why is my petition not being processed quickly when I'm abroad? And that's because I really believe it now. I think about it now, talking about it out loud with y'all, is because of backlog with National Visa Center waiting for an interview. It's very unfortunate. Okay. But I think that's a reality. So that's the thing, folks. That's another benefit having a legal team, immigration legal team, to help you with this situation, to understand the context, really give you peace of mind, provide you assurance, because you might be thinking, tumbling in your bed, thinking like, holy hell, what's going on in my case? Why is it taking so long? When all you had to do was just schedule a meeting with us. We'll tell it to you straight. No BS. Okay, Kelly of Avari, if you made a mistake on your address for DACA renewal and fixed it, how long will it take for the new card to arrive? Well, hopefully it truly was fixed, updated. But the first thing is really to get the approval notice. Okay, did you get the approval notice? I mean, last year it was taking, I know a lot of people in our class were taking about 2 to 3 months, but lately it's taking longer than that. Okay, it's very unfortunate. Jahone D. Do I think that your I-130 will be approved soon from filing the I-130 in August 2023? I don't remember who you're filing, who you sponsored, or are you the one being sponsored? Let's see if I can go back to your other comments real quick. Oh, your wife. August 2023. So hopefully it's approved in August 2024. Okay. Hopefully approved in August 24. 1 year for you. Okay. Since you're one of you are abroad. I think your wife. Thank you so much for the questions, folks. Again, if you're just now joining, my name is John Ting. I think you know that already. I practice immigration law. I manage a legal team in the United States. We have a physical office in Houston, Texas. Okay. I'm probably one of the few immigration attorneys that don't say, like, I don't have a virtual office. We have a physical office. We got team members there. Come down, get some grub, visit us. You don't have to, but really just trying to tell you we have a physical office. And here's the deal. Why am I telling you this? Because we don't want you thinking we're gonna, if you were to sign up with us, authorize us, okay, for us to help you. It's a very serious concern for me that's there's like even a WhatsApp, all these other social media, there's scammers out there. There truly are scammers, unfortunately. So even though I'm not dressed like a lawyer, like I just want to be real with y'all, okay? You can look at my website, greencardguys.com. You can read our Google profiles. We're a legitimate business. We got a physical office, okay? And we're going to be live again, hopefully tomorrow. All right, y'all have a good one. Thank you so much. I got to jump off and go to a meeting. Y'all have a wonderful day. Take care. Peace. Follow for more. If I can hit the button.